Okay, so clay strips is for most of the big details and all of that. And then the other one that I really like to use at this point is the scrape brush to finish off a surface, to smooth it out a bit and get it as neat and tidy and smooth and consistent and even as possible. Okay. So starting with this, we'll add in eyeballs just now and just get the rest of the details in first. That's very annoying. I don't know why it seems like that. Let me just save and open it again. Still though, oh well. We'll figure it out at some point. It's really weird. It's not supposed to be there. It's annoying. It's going to bug me the whole time. Let me just see if there's anything here that's weird. Maybe. That's annoying, but it's definitely easier than the alternative. Okay, let's pretend that's okay for now. Okay, so now go in, adding in all my final details, adding in all my creases, all the lines that I want in it at the end, and all that. Okay, so, and smooth a lot. Okay, I'm going to drop my detail down to 5. You guys should all be around about 8 at the moment still, in order for it not to get too hectic. Okay, so get in the big main detail bits. Oh, that one. Okay, that should be fine. I'm going to pinch the edge of the nose a bit. And then the scrape brush, which is really, turn it a bit softer. It really just finishes off surfaces quite nicely, so smooths them out while taking out any bumps and surfaces and lines and stuff that we don't want. Okay, that's a bit. I just want to flatten this. Yeah, too much. Just grab it out a bit first. Okay, something like that. Okay, don't forget about this inflate tool, which really just puffs up geometry once it gets too pinched. Okay, it's quite an important process or technique, I'd say. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that for now. I say this pinch brush doesn't work as well as it could. Not magnify does. What does magnify do? Absolutely nothing. Just want to get a bit of a sharper edge on that. Okay, also be very aware consistently of the silhouette of your character, okay, the outlines that you're busy making, because that's the most important thing. Try and get like really clean lines that have a purpose for being bent, if it is, okay. So for instance, you don't have like straight sections that have a lot of bumps and divots in. It's probably a mistake if it does have like a lot of bumps and divots in. So try and see if you can get all of those out and smoothed out, and the contours like should have a purpose. They shouldn't just be there to you know, not serve a purpose. Okay, so now just adding some form of detail for the face. Some contours and structures, and thinking of the underlying structures as well. So there's a giant cheekbone over here. That should give us something. Again, this is where the scrape tool comes in handy. Is it really just smooths out surfaces to get rid of all the bumps and stuff that happen as a result of the sculpting tools. Which is also a nice way to get sharp edges if you want sharp edges. Okay, I like to leave the eyes for pretty much last, so that we don't have to remove or reposition them or anything like that at any point. Oops. There we go. So just want to get that level of detail the same as everywhere else. Okay, look here, just some detail in the ear. This is what he's going to look like later. There we go. Okay, so now his lips. I like opening that door for no reason. And like a pretty small mouth. Okay, you can see the thing that I'm doing more than anything else is smoothing. Okay, that's quite important. Little thingy, whatever it's called. That's cool, I like that. And working with these brushes nice and softly really does give you a very smooth finish for a sculpting blender, not for a mesh. But okay, that's not too bad. I do want to bring this line out a little straighter, so I'm going to fill it a bit. That's a little bit better. Okay, so that's not terrible. I'm actually quite happy with that. Get the rest of it in a little bit nicer. Now we need to put in the eyes, of course. Okay, so with the eyes, I don't know if you guys remember, I like to add in spheres to begin with. Just trying to get that as nice as possible before we go on. Okay, so in object mode, I add in a sphere, just scale down a lot, and also rotate 90 degrees, just so that I have the circles there, which makes it a little bit nicer to look at, and makes more sense. Okay, he does have tiny eyes, so I can keep them round, luckily. Let's see where we want these to go. Just going to push it forward a bit until I decide where placement's right. Okay, so somewhere around there. If you press Ctrl A and apply the location and the rotation and scale, then you can put your mirror modifier on. Okay, and then we can pull it back a bit to about there, I think. Okay, so now we can go and sculpt in the area of the eyes around it. You can always try and keep your mesh as tidy as possible, or as long as possible. Okay, I think that should just about do it. Okay, so once you have them in and you like the shape, then you can go and sculpt in the lids around it. And take this process slowly. Don't rush this because here you can really get it, you can ruin it very quickly by rushing this a little bit too much. So literally just draw in the eyelids. Sculpt in the eyelids, should I rather say. Okay, so something like that. See, a little bit more. Okay, so that's cool, I think. That's also probably fine. Scrape tool is really a nice one, I must say. Gives you nice surfaces. It is a bit wide-eyed, but so is the sketch. What'll help is doing this. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Okay, so especially with the lids, really take it slow. Don't rush that because you can very quickly, I must say that's probably the most difficult bit of it. You can very quickly let it run away with you and end up with a very messy piece. Okay, so sculpting it slowly, neaten it up with the pinch tools and the what's the other one? Scrape, and then get those slowly. Okay, now these are a little bit rough, not rough, a bit harsh. So let's smooth it out a tiny bit. I like the sharp edges, but they're too sharp. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that covers up the whole mouth just about. But anyway, at least now we know it's right underneath. Okay, and then we can start moving on to more details in the body. Okay, so literally the same thing, just adding detail. Okay, deciding on what I want to emphasize, what I want to hide, what I want to smooth out, what I want to, and a lot of it is just creasing it and scraping it. Okay, so that you really keep it neat, keep all the details in that need to be in. No wonder. Sorry, just want to check something quickly. Ha. Okay, never mind. That was just me checking something. Okay. Save once in a while. It's a good practice to get into. You get a very nice smooth surface with the scrape tool. Just going over it very lightly, not to deform it too much, but to really just bring out the details, or get rid of the details, I suppose, in this case. Okay, and smooth always. You really want it to be as neat and smooth as possible. So it's pinching things and smoothing it out, and pinching things and smoothing it out, and pinching things. Get the idea. Just to sharpen everything up a little bit where you need it. Okay, so you don't always want very sharp lines everywhere, so you do want some form of contrast. Ah, didn't know that brush did that. Try and keep your lines simple and not overly complicated. The smoother and cleaner they are, the better your design will look. You want a lot of contrast, that's a big thing as well. So areas where it's smooth and where it's complicated and where it's clean, where it's a little bit more detailed. Really just trying to get it neat and tidy, smooth, and make sure that my outlines are nice. Okay. It's weird that it's not the same on that side. It is strange. We'll ignore that for now. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys. If it does, just ignore it. When reads apologize, we only reads apologize half in any case, so. As soon as you go back into object mode, your Retopo goes back. Sternocleidomastoid. That's what that muscle is called. Yes, yeah. Okay, it's actually coming together quite nicely. It's got nice details. All the details that I want. It's weird. Okay, add something to the legs, I suppose. That's going to get really annoying because it needs to do that every time. I like the shape. I'm not really going to mess it up too much. The feet I'm going to leave just like that because we're going to model him shoes in any case. It's more or less the right shape. Smooth it out a bit. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about that. They're pretty flat already. Just smooth this out a bit more. So the scrape tool is the secret to getting nice smooth surfaces. And patience. Probably patience more than the scrape tool as well. Okay, that's not too bad. Quite happy with that. So we have sharp areas of detail and areas where detail is less blurry, or more blurry. Quite happy with the face, I must say. That looks pretty cool. Let's take that off. Okay, now with the hands, I'm going to try and just block in a basic shape. We anyway really focus on that when we model them in any case. So it's not too important to go crazy with this. And also again smooth out as you go. Just a bit of a wrist going first. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, that's not a terrible thumb. Sculpting fingers is hard, I'll say that first of all. Yeah, especially when the camera is all screwed. Slow and steady. Okay, so that is actually good enough for my opinion. As a hand goes, it's good enough for now. Okay, and that is probably good enough. I'm definitely going to retopologize that. We know where we need our sharp edges, we know where we need soft edges. And the shape, we're happy with the volume. Okay, which is the important bit. Any questions? Cool. Anyway, it's a bit shiny, but it's just a sample thing. Great. Well, that's it then. For next week, you guys need to have your your meshes far more finished. Okay. So somewhat to this point where we can start retopologizing them.